Greetings, Bashar.
And are you a good day?
My first question is that I've, through the course of my life, always attracted unavailable/married people. Even though I'm putting out the most available energy I can.
We understand unavailable people and married people. What are slash people?
Trying to cram as many words as possible in there.
Cram. All right.
Married people.
Yes, we understand.
And/or.
Yes.
Unavailable people.
You didn't actually have to explain that.
Okay.
Did you realize that we were joking with you?
Now I do.
Thank you. And so
I would like to know why I'm getting this back when I'm putting the most available energy out.
Obviously you're not. What you put out is what you get back. Now, let me ask you a question, if I may.
Sure.
Why are you unavailable? You may think you're making yourself available, but clearly you're not for some reason. And that doesn't necessarily have to even be a negative reason. Why are you unavailable? What is your definition of being in a relationship that you actually are afraid to experience if you attract one? You may have a definition of a relationship that doesn't serve you. You may think that certain things will happen that you actually don't prefer to have happen because you think they have to happen in a relationship. So maybe if you clarify your definition of a relationship, you will find out why you are actually saying I'm available, but giving off the vibe that you're not.
Thank you.
So what would that be? What you be afraid might happen if you did actually find yourself in a relationship that you are afraid to experience?
Rejection.
Rejection. Therefore, you are attracting people who could never possibly, in a sense, reject you in the way you don't prefer to be rejected, because there's never really a chance for that. Right?
Correct.
So, why are you afraid of rejection?
Because it hurts.
But why are you afraid it would happen? What makes you think that that's a high probability?
Experience.
Experience? So you haven't learned anything from your experience?
Yes, I have.
Then you're not the same person, are you?
No, I'm not.
Then how can the same person be rejected if you're not that person anymore?
Very good point.
Thank you very much. I sometimes make them. Again, this comes with the understanding of how things work. When you allow yourself to truly take a lesson to heart, you've changed yourself and you are literally not the same person. So you can't use, really, as a reason or an excuse, the idea of what happened before, if you've learned your lesson and changed yourself, to assume that it has to happen again. Because even if, in a sense, it appeared to happen again, if you're not the same person, you're not going to react the same way to it. Which means it doesn't matter whether it happens or not. This is making your state of being unconditional and not based on what someone else decides to do. You have to understand that, and I know this sounds like a paradox because it is, in order to attract someone that you care about and someone who cares for you, you have to attract someone as if they were a complete stranger and wouldn't know you at all, and therefore you wouldn't care what they thought about you. Because it wouldn't be relevant what they thought about you, because they're a complete stranger. If some stranger came up on the street and says, "I reject you," you would go, "Well, you're just crazy because you don't even know me." You understand?
Yes.
You wouldn't give it a second thought because it wouldn't be relevant. It would make no sense. So when you can get to the same state as you would be in listening to what a stranger might say as a rejection, and you know it's irrelevant because it has nothing to do with you, it has to do with them, then you can open yourself up to the idea of attracting what you need, because you know it doesn't really matter, in a sense, what they choose to do that might be representative of their issue, because you are clear and solid about the idea of who you prefer to be, regardless of what someone else might do. And therefore the paradox is when you don't care what someone else might think of you, you open the door to the people coming in who will actually think highly of you.
Wow.
Is this helping?
Very much so.
All right.
Okay, my next question is, I'm not very passionate about anything.
Well, that's because you've been spending time rejecting yourself. How can you be passionate about a person who rejects themselves? When you stop rejecting yourself, you will see how passionate you can be about yourself and about the life that unfolds from you. One thing is connected to the other.
My final question would have to be is, people have always told me that I'm otherworldly in my thinking, and I've always felt like an outsider looking in.
Oh, gee, me too. That's all right. First of all, obviously, there are many outsiders looking in. The entire gathering is outsiders looking in and allowing the in to become the outside and the outside to become the inside. The idea is you're not alone in this. Most of you, when you start waking up to the fact that you have other connections, start feeling those other connections very strongly, as if you're from somewhere else. You're from Earth, but you're connected to many things, and you have a higher being that is ultra-dimensional and multi-universal. So when you start paying attention to that, start picking up on that, because of what is typically the status quo on your planet, by comparison, you're going to feel a little bit like an outsider. That's okay. Because ultimately, those that are outside will become the inside. Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Just be yourself. You really, really just will discover that you are worthy, you are beautiful, there is nothing about yourself to reject, there is nothing to be afraid of. Just open up your heart and be yourself, and don't base your state of being on what other people think. In most cases, when anyone does something that is a rejection or a type of an attack, it has really more to do with their issues than it does with yours. But because they're in denial, they're not willing to look at their own issues, they're going to come and seek out someone that they can project that onto. You understand?
Yes.
But you have to understand it's their issue. I'm not saying you don't have your own issues of rejection, but this is what you're doing, and you're doing it in that way, by attracting people you can't actually have because you're afraid of being rejected. But other people who do the rejection are doing it because they're also rejecting themselves. So in a sense, by being afraid of being rejected, you are actually yourself rejecting the companions you could be attracting. So you're the one actually doing the rejection. See the difference?
Greatly.
All right. Take it to heart. Don't judge yourself for it. This is a lesson. It's a process. It's life. You're doing fine. Relax.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.